Oh, hey there. Welcome to the Close Friends List podcast. We're so excited to have you here. You've been added to our close friends list. Before we jump into this episode and start yapping and gabbing, wanted to stop by and let you know that you can find us on social media at Close Friends List Pod. You can find us on TikTok, Twitter, Insta, Spotify, YouTube, and anywhere else with podcast platforms. We're so excited to see you online and hope to be added to your close friends list. Let's get into this episode.
Welcome back to the Close Friends List podcast, everyone. Today we have a juicy episode that we've been thinking about talking about for ages, and now we're finally going to do it. But before that, how was everyone's week?
It's been a week.
Yeah. I feel like it's always a week for you, Adia. No,
Yeah,
that's not a call out. That's just
No,
like
it is.
it's just a realization.
I've been on the struggle bus for real for multiple weeks. At this point, it feels like 52. It's been a week. I volunteered today. I feel like I did a really good job giving back to my community.
I saw
volunteered.
I saw your pics of you outside, and I was like, okay,
Yes, I was at a country club today. Volunteering
Okay.
on a golf course for one of the nonprofits around here, and be at a golf course, but like I really didn't take into account like the clientele that would be there. Not clientele, the people that would be there.
the clientele, like they're your clients,
right.
I wish I would have dressed to impress. Like I wore literally a Dickies jumper. I look like a fucking mechanic. I wish I wore like a cute little skirt, like a polo.
Right.
I really
your Dickies jumper is like giving what the caddies wear.
Exactly.
It was
So
giving
you were
the help.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I just wish I would have dressed a little bit better. But other than that, the rest of the week, basura.
Did you know you were volunteering at a country club today? Like,
So, like, I did.
okay. I'm
I
just trying to put the
also
pieces together, you know?
So I stayed at Scott's house, and I have some clothes at Scott's house, but like, I'm gonna go buy a whole other outfit just to go volunteer.
Right.
So we went to
Yeah.
Target, and I picked out something because I thought I was gonna buy it. So it was like clearance rack. Scott ended up buying the entire cart, so I really wish I would have put that skirt in there that I wanted.
Yeah.
But I was trying to be,
Conscious.
Mindful of
conscious.
your
Yeah.
money.
my coin because I have like 5 people.
Outstanding debts. Yeah.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna go and spend $25 for a skirt I was never gonna wear again. But if I knew Scott was gonna pay,
Yeah.
with a very cute outfit, but it's neither here nor there. So next time.
My week, my week has been fine. It felt like a Friday today, even though it's not, and so that's
Yeah.
upsetting. But I had remember a couple weeks ago, I said my car had the safety recall, so I finally had that appointment today.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And first of all, the lady gaslit me.
Did it turn into
And
more? I
said-
feel like
It was like, so they said when I called them, made the appointment, they said 1 to 2 hours. I was like, okay, perfect. Like, I'll just sit in the Chrysler dealership and sit there for 1 to 2 hours, brought my headphones, like, was ready to either read, be on TikTok, do whatever. Like, I was ready to do that. I pull up there. The lady's like, yeah, so you're going to leave your car here all day. And I was like, what do you mean I'm gonna leave my car here all day? And she was like, yeah, like for this like update, you have to like leave your car here all day. And I was like, they told me 1 to 2 hours. She was like, if you talk to like our establishment, like they definitely told you that it would be all day. And I was like, I promise you, the person said 1 to 2 hours. She was like, let me go look at the sheet. And I was like,
What
girl,
sheet?
can click a coin, like anything,
yeah.
and be like, I said this, even if they didn't like tell you this. So she comes back with this with the sheet, and she's like, yeah, the sheet said that they informed you that it would be an all day thing, so you need to leave your car here, and we'll call you when it's ready, hopefully around 4 or 5 p.m. I was like, First of all, I'm a podcaster. I have to film. But I was like, okay, so now I'm like frantically calling my roommate or like texting my roommate being like, hey, can you come pick me up? It's 10 a.m. or like at this dealership like that I need to keep my car at. And so she comes and picks me up. Then I go back to the car dealership at like, or no, they call me at like 2:30. They're like, your car's done. I was like, okay, perfect. Like I'll go pick it up. And they said that they would give me like one free one-way Lyft ride. Not any like if I had used it this morning to like come back to my house, I would have had to like pay for a Lyft ride or like ask my roommate or something. So I used the one free like Lyft ride and they were like, okay, we're calling it now. Like, be ready, be outside. So I get a car, like I get a driver. They say he's 3 minutes away. I was like, perfect. Like I start to walk
Wait,
down. Like I'm like, okay. So the Lyft says he's 1 minute away. He is 1 minute away and in that same exact spot for 15 minutes. And I'm like, is he at the Jack in the Box? Like, that's where his car was. Is he at the Jack in the
oh
Box?
my
Or
god.
am I just like waiting around here for a clown? So I call him, he hangs up on me. I text him, like, I message in the app, nothing. And so I'm like, okay, like, what's the tea? And so I call them because I had been standing out there for like 20 minutes at this point. And I was like, "Hi, like I just called about 20 minutes ago to like get a lift, but the driver has been stuck like at the same spot for 20 minutes and it's been saying 1 minute away for 20 minutes." And she was like, "Okay, let me cancel it." And then she like finally got me another like lift and got there. And then I had to wait at the thing, even though they were like, we're going to bring your car right out. I was standing there for 25 minutes and I was like, why am I just waiting around? I see
Yeah.
so many of your employees just acting a fool and I'm standing here just standing. But of
Well,
course I was just politely like, not not doing anything. I'm not going to say anything, but I was just waiting there for 20 minutes. Finally got my car. They had moved my seat up. I was like, you're playing me. Anyways, so that was a hassle, but we
the
move
crazy thing
on.
about that is they knew you were coming because they ordered the lift. So, like,
Mhm.
that's
They
worse that
had
you were standing there.
they had the time and then like they were just like, "Oh, you need." I wasn't paying for anything cuz it's a safety
Yeah.
recall. So I was like, I just need to sign the document and like bada bing bada boom. Like we
Mhm.
Right.
can you can give me the keys, we can go. But 20 minutes go by and then the man yeets around the corner with my Jeep and I was like, "Hello?
That is
What are we
insane.
doing?" And then they were like, "Oh, like the mechanic obviously just did a like full car check and here's the list of things that you should that are
Yeah.
recommended." And I was
And
like,
here's the $2,000
"Goodbye." Like
recommendation.
I
Yeah.
was like, "You won't be seeing me. Like what are we talking about?" So, anyway, it was a mess.
Well, my week's been pretty not much has happened, I guess. I was sick for the first half, unfortunately. So it was bad. And then Scott went to New York, so now I'm just here. And I you guys may remember the last time that Scott was in New York, I had a hard
Mhm.
time with like what was happening in reality and whatnot.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're back. I've watched 5 Oscar Isaac movies in the last 2 days, and by the last
Oh,
2 days, I mean the last yet today. So, it's not
I
great.
love that.
Yeah, it's a
So
nightmare.
how long until you get through the entire Oscar Isaac
Okay,
movie?
yeah, it's gonna be a while, unfortunately, because he's in, like, 75 movies is what
Oh,
Letterbox said,
Mhm.
and I'm about 20% done, so whatever that math adds up to be. Although
Okay.
mhm,
Letterbox has a lot of stuff that's like you know how in Disney they do the assembled, like and they talk about how they made whatever
Oh, yeah,
Marvel
yeah.
show. So they have that listed for him for like Moon Knight, and it's like I'm not gonna get Disney Plus to watch that. Also, it's not a real movie. Like, and then what else? Yeah, last night I got a little too high and I had a panic attack. So that was exciting. Because I was here by myself
Okay.
and I was just like,
Mhm.
mhm.
what if I died right now? And then I couldn't stop. Because
Yeah.
like what would have happened? I would have just been here. and nobody would have known.
Oh,
Anyway,
wow.
so I really spiraled
Oh,
yesterday, but
so the only way is
otherwise
up now.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So when I woke up, I was like, "You know what? Let's just put on a couple Oscar movies and call it
Yeah.
a day." And,
Some
now I'm here. So, crazy week. Now that we've kinda covered everyone's week, I do have a question for everyone. So we've been talking a lot about reality television this week generally. If you were going to be a real housewife, what would your slogan be? Some that I brainstormed for myself this afternoon because I was like, I can't ask this question without there being a semi answer. So one of them was, I love watching a good movie, but I'm not afraid to watch you crash and burn.
Ooh,
I love that.
And
Okay.
then another one was, I may read a lot of books, but books aren't the only thing I'm good at reading. And then
Incredible.
I had a vampire one, but it's not fully fleshed out, so I'll just leave it there.
it would probably be like, if there's 10,000 Joe Jonas fans in the world, I'm one of them. If there's 10 Joe Jonas fans in the world, I'm one of them. If there's zero Joe Jonas fans in the world, I'm dead.
I
That
love that.
last line.
It's just
The first and last line, maybe.
mhm.
No Joe Jonas fans in the world, then I'm dead.
Yeah, keep
Or,
it snappy. With
mhm,
the bob, though, you have to keep the bob.
You had to
Yeah,
boom.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it has to flick.
at least
Mhm.
that
it,
one piece.
yeah.
Oh my god.
She's a paid actor.
She is. Oh, man.
Our
Um,
guest today is Adia's mom.
I beat my face with makeup, and I'll still beat you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe mine will be like I drink a cup of tea every day and I'll spill your tea. I don't know, like
Yeah.
something tea
That's good.
related,
That
or
would be
maybe
good.
just like don't cross me. Done.
That's good. I love everyone's. And we should be Real Housewives next.
We should, the Real Housewives of the podcast world.
Exactly.
Anyway, so the juicy topic for today is the downfall, and maybe not so much downfall for some of these, of family vlogs. We've seen them, we've maybe loved them at one point, but really they need to be done with, honestly. So, what's everyone's thoughts on family vlogs?
Probably one of the worst things to ever happen to streaming
Yeah.
video on the
E
internet.
exactly. I was gonna say, I feel like I've never really enjoyed any of their content. I mean, I love the commentary channels who will
Mm.
tell me what's
Mhm.
going on, but the poor
Mhm.
kids, it's like they don't really know. I mean,
Yeah.
think about when you were a kid and your parents did like home videos or whatever. It's like they're not like real to a kid. Like they are, but they aren't
Mhm.
Mhm.
because but the camera, you don't really know what it
The
is, and
camera's
then
just
to
like
go
there. Yeah.
yeah, and then to take it a step further and put it on the internet, I think is kinda
Mhm.
crazy because it's one thing, the home videos, you got them
Yeah,
at
that's
home,
for the
whatever,
fam, for
fun
them.
memes, yeah,
Yeah.
but then on the internet's like a whole 'nother thing, and then
Mhm.
people's whole livelihoods relying on their 3-year-olds, like, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
Yeah.
it's
weird.
like child acting, which has always had kind of like
Yes.
well, labor
A
laws,
bad.
but,
Yeah, yeah.
bad rap, yeah,
Yeah. It's just like so
so
crazy that people are like, I am going to just first of all expose my child on the internet, like face,
yeah,
name, age, everything. Like so
Oh,
many
date of
people are
yeah.
birth,
like, here's their school,
Mhm.
here's their thing, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, now I'm getting a big check and that's amazing for me. So we're going to keep
Mhm.
right.
doing it, like, even if they don't want to be on camera or not. And like, it's just so crazy.
My
Um,
Mm,
my thing is people, grown adults being fans of, like, children in a
yeah,
family
yeah,
vlog.
that's another like
That's just
level to the creepiness. Like
yes.
you're
yeah,
already just having your children like so exposed online and just like everywhere. And then like people are like, oh my gosh, I love little Susie's,
Mhm.
backpack, or I love like little Susie's like outfits today. And you're like,
Mhm.
why are you a 35-year-old
Yeah.
person commenting on
Yeah.
this?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's different too from I know we kind of briefly touched on child acting, but this is child acting, they're still playing a character. Yes, they're young and people know them
Yeah.
and they may be kind of famous, but when it's your
Mm-hmm.
real life, that's different too because those
Mhm.
kids are not
Mm-hmm.
playing a character, they're just
Mm-hmm.
And so all that information that you're putting out there
Mhm.
inherently is worse in that regard,
Yeah.
but
It's
Yeah.
also like child actors, like, yes, their parents may have forced them into this. Yes, like whatever, but they like audition for the role or like whatever. So they have a
Mhm.
contract, they have a, thing like it's for
right.
a set number of things. The family vlogs, like, they had to make X amount of videos to start getting famous. And then they're
Mhm.
just like, okay, like now we're going
Mhm.
to keep going. We're going to keep cranking them out day, night. Since, I mean, it's your family, it's your parents doing it, like, there's no set time that they're like, "Okay, we're not gonna film." Or, like, like, some people,
Mhm.
like, just wake up their children, and like, you're seeing them wake up on camera, like,
Yeah.
why am I
You
in your
shouldn't.
bedroom, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sleepy-eyed,
Why do
like,
I know
what's
their whole
happening?
routine? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
and people also get, like, a crazy parasocial, like,
Yeah.
relationship to, like, kids or, like, these people because they
mhm.
think that they're seeing intimate parts of, like, regular people's lives,
Mhm.
and it's like,
Right.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I
it's
mean,
creepy.
we've talked about parasocial relationships with celebrities, and people truly
Mhm.
think that celebrities are their friend. And then when you have all this personal information, I mean, in a
Mhm,
way, it is a one-sided, like, you know everything about this person
Mhm.
already.
mhm.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, it's so much easier to like fall into that trap if you're a fan. I guess I don't watch, but I see all the tea.
Mhm.
There should be
I
laws for
like
sure.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I don't watch them now, but it's like I had seen like clips and some videos that like popped off, and people are like, "Oh my gosh," like talking about this like way back in the day of like the LeBrant fam or like, like,
Yeah.
so you like see those things and you're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, okay, this is weird." But
Well, and then
um
there's people out there, like, we'll talk about them, but the Ace family, like, they literally at one point, I'm pretty sure declared bankruptcy. And so it's like
they did.
these kids are being exploited, and you guys are
Mhm.
spending all the money, which like does go to the kids because now they have this big, huge house. But now,
Mhm.
when
Mhm.
you're broke and the kids grow up, like, and they have nothing to show for all of their
Yeah.
so-called fame, it's
Mhm.
like, what was all
I
that for?
remember
You
I can't
there's no money for
yeah.
anybody.
Seriously, I remember I saw one family that was like, I can't remember their name, but I saw this one family that was like clickbait, "We're homeless," and they literally edited
Oh.
like the mom and like two of the kids to like have ragged clothes, like look a
Mhm.
mess, like we're homeless. And then that just like moved to the next video of like, we just bought a $20 million house. And you're like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
what? Like, you
yeah,
really like, if someone's a fan, they could be like, "Oh my gosh, like, how are you homeless? Blah blah blah." Like, they could
right.
believe you. Like, people believe things
mhm.
on the internet all the time. So it's
Yeah,
like,
and
Yeah.
family vloggers are notorious for clickbait, like,
mhm,
Yes.
they're not a family vlogger if they don't use clickbait, some crazy image, like you said, Erin,
mhm,
it's literally insane, it's so bad,
mhm,
and it's always, like, of the kids crying or, like,
yeah,
doing
Yeah.
something, like, really drastic, and
to
I
pull
remember.
at people's
Yes,
heartstrings.
and it's
Like,
like, oh, you don't
Yeah.
wanna skip that, but there was this one mom, I don't know if you guys saw, she was, like, a family blogger, and she was telling her son to cry more, and
Oh,
she
jeez.
accidentally kept the clip in her video. So she had edited her YouTube video,
oh my
but didn't
gosh,
clip the portion where she was like, "Cry more," like, just like she was, like, coaching him on what to do,
Right.
and
I
then
think
she's
oh
like,
I
my
"And for
did
the
hear
gosh,
cover
about this.
photo." She's like, "And
Yeah.
for the cover photo, just cry more." And then and the
oh
kid's like,
my
"Mom,
gosh.
I'm actually sad." She's like, "Okay," but, like,
Yeah.
it was yeah, it was
She's
just
like,
so
but
bad.
use that
Yeah.
energy. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
And the
insane.
kid's
She
like,
got
"For what?" Like, your
yeah,
video that had no concept of what that even means. Yeah.
no.
mhm,
She got so much backlash for it, and she's like, "This was a real
as she
moment,"
should.
and, like, "I'm so sorry for recording it," but, like, the rest of her videos were, like, owning on the fact I think that she had, like, a scandal about it, so it was like
Mm,
yeah.
She was getting way
Yeah.
more views out of it, yeah. I
mhm,
think I saw that, and I saw the Ace family had a similar one where Catherine edited a vlog and left in, like, their, like, opening or whatever, and
mhm,
where they were
Mhm.
like, "Oh," they're, like, kinda fighting or whatever, and then she cuts to the real one, and it's like, "That's literally the beginning of your video, how did you miss
Yeah.
that?" But, like, that was where
seriously.
conspiracy theorists were like, because now they're getting divorced, That's like anyway, that's a whole thing, but yeah, it's crazy what they'll do.
Since we're on the Ace family, what is everyone's thoughts on them? I don't know, like, I don't have many, like, They just have so much
So
drama, like,
I
against
feel
them or around
like
them.
the issue with the Ace family is not okay, this is gonna sound kind of crazy. It's not that they involve the kids in the videos. Like, Austin McBroom is
Mhm.
literally, like,
Yeah.
off
Yes.
his rocker. So
Yes.
I
Yeah.
feel like, at the beginning, they were definitely very family vlog, and now
Mhm.
it's well, with the
Well, now
divorce, I
it's
haven't seen much. Yeah, things have kinda toned down, although I think they're on Snapchat, which is a whole 'nother thing,
Ugh.
like,
that's
that's
something we need
anyway.
to touch on, yeah.
Probably, yeah, but, you know, I know they started off as family vloggers, but then as time went on before the divorce, it felt very, like, Austin focused to me, like,
Mm.
he was the one he did all these controversies, he's, like, spinning in a jet ski in his pool and knocking water over the side of his infinity
Yeah.
pool and,
Yeah.
like, literally causing a landslide in his neighbor's backyard, so, like but that was all Austin, you know what I mean? It's not like the kids
Mhm.
are driving the jet ski off the side whatever, so
Mm.
I feel like as time went on, things got worse for them because he was not,
Mm.
in his right mind. I mean, the kids were
Yeah.
definitely still in all the videos, and I feel like that's weird. I don't know if they were a family that videoed births or like,
Yeah, I don't remember
I
that.
don't remember either,
Oh.
but either way, definitely there was definitely some kid involvement. Yeah, because they were the ones that took their daughter to a sex store, right? No, they were. They were.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I've
so
never,
I
Wow.
yeah,
hold on.
doesn't
I'm gonna
recall.
look this up. Okay, here we go.
Yeah?
Here we go. I gotta find the actual I just found a video that says Ace family controversy. Did parents go too far buying? And I think they bought her like some sort of creepy lollipop. Okay. Austin McBroom took a child into a sex store and bought her a dick lollipop. I'm pretty sure it was his kid. Because what other kid is he hanging out with? Yeah. And that was
That's
they
insane.
kept it in their video because they thought it was funny, but that's
Right.
crazy. I completely forgot they did that until I started ranting about
Where's
them.
CPS? Like
When you need them.
Literally, literally.
like you need to be scouring the internet for these family
Mm.
vloggers. Like,
That was one
what
of the
we
first
doing?
controversies I remember from them actually. Because I think
Mhm.
they just had the one daughter at the time still. Now they
Yeah,
have 3 kids.
the one thing I'll give the Ace family is I just love that I don't love, but it's clever that Ace stands for, like, their name,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Austin,
Austin,
Catherine,
Catherine.
and whoever the E is.
They did that whole Ace Fest. I heard it actually was kind of it kind of worked out. But they also did a charity
Crazy.
basketball game and they didn't give any of the money to charity.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. Like, they've
Yeah.
done, like, a scam event before or
Oh,
something like
They're
that's the
that.
just
thing.
scammers,
They're
yeah.
scammers
They
for
love to be
sure.
fraudsters.
Yes,
One
they've done a
thing
few fraudulent things.
I can't believe that Catherine had the opportunity to date Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
That how do you to go
Moment of
from
silence for that. Like,
you go from MBJ to Austin?
oh yeah, that's literally insane
Yeah,
to me
I can't.
Yeah.
personally. The next family we should talk about is the LeBrant family because they have been exposing their kids since day,
They dot. I mean,
day one.
the thing with
Um,
them too is I feel like the LeBrants, for me on the outside of family vlogs, kind of like are the biggest ones. Like
Mhm,
I
from
think
the
so.
outside, definitely important
They're
to
definitely
mention.
the ones that I feel like I know the most about because their
Yeah.
videos just pop up on like my For You page or something, or like someone talking about them. And I'm just like, okay, here's more info about these kids that I don't need to know. But
they're just the Christian version of the Ace family.
Yeah, but
I
with
feel like
less
weren't the
crazy parents. Well, you know.
right. I
There's a
feel like
level
because
of crazy to be
what's
a
her
family
name?
vlogger, but not
I
Austin
feel like
McBroom level.
Savannah is less well, yeah, because it's also like
Yeah.
Savannah and Catherine are both like less crazy. And
Yeah.
Cole just seems chaotic. Or well, he just seems crazy, but not in like a chaotic like Austin way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make
Mhm.
Because
sense?
they don't to me, I don't think they've like notably scammed anybody besides the actual act of family vlogging being like kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
scummy,
Yeah.
but they've not like
Yeah. No, I
gone out of
think
their way
they've
to like literally rip people off, I don't think,
yeah,
versus
they
the
seem
Ace family.
pretty PC if in the scamming realm, you know?
Mhm.
In the scamming for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. So for
But
anyone not familiar, because again, we probably know the most about the LeBrants, but
mhm.
Cole was famous in his own right before meeting Savannah and was big
What
on
was
on
what was
Vine,
their name?
Fine.
them white
Them
boys.
Them
white
white boys.
boys. Yeah.
Yeah, and he did actually pretty well for himself with that. He was on Survivor, I think. I think it was Survivor. No,
Was
The
it?
Amazing Race with his mom. The Amazing Race. That's what it
Oh,
was.
yes. Okay,
So
okay,
he
okay.
kind of like, because the other two guys are obviously kind of, we don't know who they are at this point, but he's
Mhm.
kind of leaned into that. And
Mhm.
then he started dating Savannah, and then now they have 6 children and
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
terrorizing the internet with their clickbait,
Mhm.
and it just escalated so
Exactly.
quickly. But oh god, I feel like there's so many things with them because
Yeah.
when they met, Savannah had her daughter Everly already. So
Mhm.
Mhm.
when Cole like transitioned to YouTube, it seemed like he kind of just lumped the two of them in. And Everly was like 3 or 4 at the time, I think. So,
Mhm.
not a fresh baby necessarily, but like it
Mhm.
was
Mhm.
kind of weird. But then they really leaned heavy into the family aspect because then they got engaged, Savannah and
Mhm.
Cole, and that was like I remember that was huge online.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
Mhm.
know. I mean, yeah, I guess his following is pretty big because I feel like his following is why she had a following because I don't remember
I
her being
thought
that
she
big.
had like
Got
a pretty
scared.
decent following, not like massive or anything, but she had a
Mhm.
pretty
Yeah,
decent following. So then like
not your average
them coming
Insta, but
together,
yeah.
getting married. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also like I don't know, I feel like they were just pulling into the like Christian vloggers plus like
Mhm.
Well,
they
yes.
showed their like whole wedding. Like
Yeah.
also it was like didn't
Well, the day of
Cole
their
like
honeymoon, he posted,
Oh,
"I'm not a virgin anymore."
yeah,
oh
and that
that
went like
too.
And that
viral.
it
Yeah.
literally went that
That
video
went
was
viral. But I was also
crazy.
the one that I was talking about was when he like not like proposed to Everly, but
Oh, gave her like
said
Oh,
a
that
ring.
like yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes.
He like
Yeah.
that went viral before
Mhm.
his I'm not a virgin
Yeah.
anymore clip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Like
because
wild.
he did, like, "Vows to Three-Year-Old Daughter" was the title of one of the videos on his YouTube, like,
yeah,
from their
yeah, yeah, yeah.
wedding. Yeah,
Mhm.
and then "I'm Not a Virgin Anymore." That video is so crazy when you like, that he literally has crazy eyes in that,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, he
Yeah.
like what he's like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And
Yeah.
you're like, "I don't need to see this
No.
Yeah.
at
No,
all."
literally, that's the thing, and, like, to title it like that is crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, it
Yeah.
got them the clicks that they wanted, but it's like,
Mhm.
Mhm.
you really
I just
gotta
wonder
be
I
open
wonder
and
because
out there
like,
to
it was
commit
on
to
his
that.
channel. It was on his
Yeah.
channel, like, how did Savannah say yes to this?
That's what
Like,
I have wondered for
what?
years. Since they got married, I was like, how I would never if somebody was like, "I'm gonna do this video and we're gonna post it the day after," like, you would never
Mhm.
in your right mind
Yeah.
say yes. It's
No.
It's
crazy.
like, can we just keep this, like, to ourselves and, like,
No.
whatever?
Yeah.
Like, I understood that they, like, had a videographer for their wedding and, like,
Yeah.
they posted, like, all that but that the day after the wedding, I was like,
That's wild.
"What are we
So
Yeah.
so
doing?"
quick too. Like that was like in
Mhm.
drafts. You know what I'm saying? Like ready to go.
Mhm.
Literally. Yeah. That was
Mhm.
wild. And I know they've
Yeah.
filmed a few childbirths,
Mhm.
I
all of
definitely
them
I
except for Everly's, I
remember
think.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's all of them because I was like, I remember seeing like, "Oh my gosh, like number 2 is coming." Like, I think it's Posey, right?
Yeah.
Posey's the
Yeah,
Yeah.
second one.
yeah.
Like that's the
But they were
main
And then
like
song.
Sunday or
Yeah.
Z
Zealand. Yeah.
Zealand. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. I was just like, "What are we talking about? What's happening? Like,
Ah,
why am I in the room with you? Like, why do I see your legs up? Like, what's
mhm.
Exactly.
happening?"
Yeah, because
Um,
that's a whole thing, like, again, what's the deal with the boundaries here? Because we could have done a
Yeah.
birth
mhm.
video without like, you could have cut the
Mhm.
whole
Mhm.
actual birth. Like, you could have
Mhm.
just kept, like, going to the hospital and then, like, coming home
Exactly.
Yep.
or,
Like, if you wanted
but
to show, like, the birth process, not, like, the full birth
what
process, but if you
I
wanted to show that
that's
and, like I'm like, "Okay, like, I get being, open and showing people what it's really like instead of, like,
Mhm.
what movies or whatever show." But I'm like, "This is"
it's too
too
much.
much.
Yeah,
Like,
and they've done a few. They are notorious for thumbnails of like she has
Mhm.
cancer, and then it's like a photo of their
Mhm.
daughter, but it's
yeah.
like it's not even about her. And then they
Uh-huh.
did this one was wild. They did a video, they did a prank where they pretended the dog died and they scared
Oh.
Everly into
Oh,
thinking that the
yeah.
dog was
I
or like
remember
or they
that.
rehomed him. I think it was either that or he was rehomed, but either way, she was
Mhm.
literally like sobbing on camera and at the end they were like, "I'm just
Just
kidding. He's in
kidding.
the backyard or whatever." And it's just like,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
traumatizing, like, that's not
I
a
Yeah.
remember
prank,
that.
like, some girl's, like, having a breakdown on
Mm.
camera, that's not a prank,
Seriously.
so they've done a lot of, a lot.
A lot of clickbaity things. And
Yeah,
now Everly's like, I don't know, 13, 12,
yeah,
Yeah,
and
she's
she's
older.
just
mhm.
She's
on
so
her
over it.
I know, it's
but
interesting because
she's also
she
like being a teen on like the internet. Like her
yeah,
friends will like
exactly.
now use her in the background
Mhm.
to because I've seen some of their videos like randomly
Yeah,
pop up on my For You page for a trend or something. And I'm
Mm.
like, hello? Like, first of all, why are these children on my page? But second of
Yeah.
all,
yeah.
what are we
I
doing?
know for 13, she seems pretty well adjusted for having her whole life aired out on the internet, but
Mm,
I do think as she gets older, closer to, like, 16, 17, 18, she's gonna, like, conceptualize what all that means for like, for real.
Oh
yeah.
Because
my gosh,
she does
yeah.
seem to be like, she'll still make videos with them, like, she may not be as, like, excited as when she was a kid, but,
Yeah.
like, I saw her and, Cole do a dancing video last week, like, I
Oh
Yeah.
mean,
I think
yeah.
they
so I think she's
stay.
still kind of, like, leaning into it a little, but she doesn't still maybe know the amount of,
Yeah.
like, the fame and eyes on her probably is
Yeah. I mean,
reality.
they stay doing like the daddy daughter, like
Oh,
Yeah,
blah blah
yeah.
blah. Like that was half the videos Cole was doing,
I
like
know.
Mhm.
Poor
from
Everly,
when he
because
I
became
the
when
know.
other
she was 3 to
kids
now.
Yeah.
exactly, the other kids are gonna get that, but just not in the same way, like, I feel like they
Mm,
really Everly's the poor guinea pig at that house because
mhm.
Yeah.
we know 3 of their kids' names, but they got 2 more. I don't know those kids' names, but so it's like you're
Yeah.
exploiting them, but, like, some of them are more exploited than others, and that's, like
Yeah,
that's gonna be so tough when they grow up, but
for
Mm.
sure. Let's talk about the post that Cole posted when they were like having baby number 6.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Let's talk about it, and let's talk about how he was like, "I've known Savannah for X amount of years, and for most of those years, she's been pregnant. I don't do I like her if she's not pregnant? Blah blah blah." And I was like, "What are we talking about, my guy?
Like
Like
Yeah.
that's your wife? Like
Yeah.
hello?"
That
like
And I
kid
she's
know
is
just
he was like
crazy.
jokey, but like, is it a joke?
also how horrible must it be to pregnant for that long? Like that's
Yeah.
insane. Uh,
You couldn't pay me enough money, like
no. No. At
I
all.
know
And I
that
think she
seems
homeschools
terrible.
them too.
they do, yeah. Or, Everly, I don't know,
I think Everly
maybe
goes to public school or
I
a
think she
private
might or
school.
private
Yep.
school, but the
Mm,
other ones I
yeah.
know but that's the other thing is, like, it's not just being pregnant that whole time, it's like, now you have 4 kids under 3, like, I
Mhm.
mean, that in
Mhm.
itself is like, what are we doing? I mean, that you could
Mhm.
Mhm.
say that about any like, think about the Duggars, it's like, what are we doing? You know, like, anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah, that I remember that Instagram going crazy on Twitter because people were like, even if
Is
he's
he
joking,
serious?
this is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally, like the line of "Will I still like her if she's not pregnant?" is so insane. Like I cannot
yeah,
To
imagine
publicly
those
post.
words ever like coming across my mind to think about saying. Like, what are we talking about? Yikes.
hmm literally. And he was so
Gosh.
young. He was like 22 when they were first
That's right.
pregnant.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
I thought he was
obviously he was
like
already a stepdad,
20
but
because he couldn't
Yeah.
drink at
okay,
their
okay,
wedding. He couldn't
that's
drink at their
true.
wedding and they got married at a
Yeah.
winery. And they were like, "We wanted to keep it a dry wedding," but I was like, "Why are you getting married at a winery then?"
Well,
Stupid.
exactly. There's certain
Because they were like,
expectations from the
yeah, like
venue.
at a winery, you have to have their wine there.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Like, hello. But that was crazy.
We know a lot about them. And the thing is like
I know.
I'm
Well,
not seeking out their content. I'm not
No. You
watching
just it's
like
just
yeah,
there all the time.
yeah, and they're so famous that
exactly.
people are commenting on it and it comes up like Ethan has talked so much about them, but it's like they're
Mm,
doing crazy stuff. Like
Mhm.
mm-hmm. I
the
feel like back in the way back days, like I definitely got pulled into like one of their clickbait videos and I was like, oh, let me click this and watch.
Mhm.
yeah.
Even though I was like, I know this is not going to be real, but like everyone's saying it's crazy. So I feel like just from that and like, I'm like, okay, I know just too much.
Mhm.
And I know it was interesting because they were in a lot of controversy when they released that abortion video.
Oh,
But it's
yeah.
like,
Mm.
okay, the thing about that is, what did you guys expect?
Yeah.
Like,
Did you think that they're, like, raging liberals or
like what out of all of their content made you think that they were not pro-life? Like,
Yeah.
I'm being completely
About
dead
their like
serious. Like,
very conservative Christian, like all
yeah,
of them bleach blonde. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What did you
yeah,
think?
They clearly don't
right,
use contraceptives, so
That's the
yeah,
like you see them in their line of 17 kids. Like, what are we
Mhm.
doing?
yeah. So I mean, we don't have much to say about that because it's just like that video when it came out, like, we're not shocked. Like, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, they have a huge following, so I'm sure that was generally influential. But
Yeah.
it's like low key, their followers probably already were
Yeah.
co-signed to that kind of
Oh, absolutely.
anyway.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So, like, what were you guys expecting? I mean, homeboy was a virgin until marriage. Like,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
read the room.
Well, like
I
we
think
all saw the
there's
video of I'm not a virgin anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
hello, like
yeah.
Yeah,
I think
literally
there's
admitting.
a video, I don't know if he said it or if, like, people were saying it, but it was, like, how he was saying, "I'm gonna be a virgin on my wedding night, but, like, Savannah's not," or, like, something like,
Yeah.
I remember something about that of, like, "How do
mm.
you feel about Savannah not being a virgin?" But, like,
Yeah.
like, all that
I
stuff.
actually feel like I remember that too,
Yeah,
because I'm
because they
like,
did a lot
okay,
of
like,
Q&As.
Mhm.
I don't remember what
yeah,
his answer was.
Me either.
I know there was definitely something
I
God related where it's like she came back to God. I remember that being like
Yeah.
the
feel like a
general
born again
sentiment. A
He
virgin.
little
What are
bit,
we
basically tried
yeah.
to
doing?
say that, I think, yeah,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
that I was
Yeah.
okay, and it did yeah, or
I'm
whatever.
like, Everly's right there. Like, what are we trying to ignore? Like, she's in the background of your video. Like, hello?
she's
What
the
are we
Oh
reason you
my
trying
got
to
50
god.
ignore?
million views on your wedding video because you titled it Vows to
Exactly.
3-year-old daughter. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah.
Weirdo. Well, do you know
Imagine
Everly's dad did die though,
I did hear that actually.
like,
Yeah.
Oh,
recently.
Although
Yeah.
that was
I
kind
didn't
of
know
weird too,
recently.
because I remember, like, there was some semi-controversy about, like, Cole and his stepfatherliness, like,
Yeah, and he's
overstepping
acting
the actual
oh,
dad, like,
100%,
Mm,
yeah,
I
because
remember
he
that
still
kind
had
of coming up.
custody.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and I remember that being, like, a whole issue where it's great that he loves her and treats her like a daughter, like, that's what
Yeah,
you would
for
want
sure.
in a partner, but
Yes.
I do
Yeah.
remember there definitely coming out something weird about, like, I don't know if it was, the dad's new girlfriend or if the dad came out and said something, but yeah, there was
Mhm.
definitely, like, I don't know if it was a custody issue, but
I feel like it was like I don't want Everly on camera like this.
maybe
Yeah.
that's what it
Because I feel
was,
like that
yeah.
sounds familiar of like the girlfriend coming out and being like, like he doesn't want her on camera, but like Savannah and Cole, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that might be what it was. Yeah, I remember that being kind of a controversial.
Mm,
So
hmm.
sad. I did hear that he passed recently. Let's talk about Matt and Abby.
Matt and Abby, first of all, they're currently in the news for
Yeah.
controversy. So Matt and
Yeah.
Abby are these like Christian conservative family vlog. Well, do they show their kids? I can't recall. Or do they
I
just
don't actually follow them, so I don't know. I
I
just
don't
see their
either.
podcast clips,
Yeah.
which are
They have a
questionable.
podcast
Yeah.
and I think it's the Unplanned podcast, right? I know I
Yes.
wrote it, but I was like,
Mm.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. So they have this podcast and their whole thing is like we're new parents, their audience are like young parents who are like trying to get some like parenting advice and then they have
Mm.
on other parents to talk about like parenting advice as well. So they just I'm like, okay. So they just have that, but then they also say like such chaotic things.
Well, I think
And then
that's the thing. Yeah.
Mm.
That's the
Whether or
gag.
not they're showing their kids, they're definitely, like, weird about the way they treat their kids and, like, the decisions they're
Mm,
making and stuff. Like,
I've never
mhm.
watched them, so I don't
I've
know.
just
have you
seen,
seen any
like
of their clips at all, like, on TikTok? Oh,
Mm-mm.
interesting.
wow.
Cause yeah, they go viral for rant like, there was one episode where I just saw the clip, I have not watched any of their full episodes or anything, but he's like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, like, I really thought about at one point, I, like, really hated you and I hated the kids, and I just, like, crazy
Yeah,
off the
something
wall." And you're like,
he
"Do
also
you
oh,
even
didn't
love
he
her?" Like, it was
first of all, didn't
crazy.
he also go viral for they were like, "Yeah, I wasn't attracted to you, but, like,
Yeah,
That's
and then
like,
interesting.
it grows, like, love grows," and you're like,
yeah.
"Hello?" Like,
Yeah,
that's
and this one's less chaotic, but they recently had like and not mini controversy, but just like some whispers in the news because one of their episodes they were like, "My birthday is really close to Father's Day, so we're just
yes.
skipping my birthday." But
Oh, okay, I've seen that,
because
I've seen
No, no,
that.
no,
because
no.
the
They're not skipping, they're
well, I
celebrating Father's Day,
yeah, yeah,
like, a
yeah,
month later because, like,
because it wasn't
Father's Day
two
always
separate
gets
events for
skipped
him.
around, like, when
Yeah.
it's his birthday and then Father's Day, and I'm like, "Okay, but did you birth the kids? Did you? Are you taking care of them like that? No, I know you're not. So,
What?
what are we
Well, yeah, it was
doing?"
crazy because he was like, "I'm not getting" like, one example was, like, literally last year, my birthday fell on Father's Day, so it was
Mhm.
like we were celebrating 2 days in 1, but I really wanna be able to separate them and have Father's Day be Father's Day and my birthday be my birthday. AKA he wants more attention,
Yeah,
Oh my
and then he was like
god.
I mean, like,
which is
didn't he
not
say
inherently bad, but it's, like, kinda crazy, like, that's
he was
you're
like,
not,
"I
you
was
know.
the one grilling, like, I had to
Yeah,
do this," and
yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"My guy,
Yeah, and they've had some
hello?"
weird takes about, like I know they're really honest about like, "Oh, yeah, like, we that kid was unplanned," which is like, that's fine, but then they were like, "I don't think I'm gonna have another one," or like, Abby was like, "I really would like a third," and he's like, "I really don't want any more kids at all," and it's like but it's like very
Yeah,
combative on their like, it's not like a funny
and
clip, it's like they're kind of fighting on air.
they're just, like, saying what they want, and then they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, like,
Yeah, she's like,
hello?"
"When were
Like,
you gonna tell me that?" And he's like, "I guess right now," and it's like,
I
"What
guess,
do you
like, on the
mean?"
pod, like,
What?
Yeah, they have
ju
some weird
So
stuff
it's
out
just
there.
crazy.
I'm not shocked by the controversy then. The
Well,
recent
yeah.
No. So
at
the
Yeah.
all.
controversy, for those who haven't heard about it, Matt and Abby were on, like, a 7-day cruise with Abby's family, and they brought their one-year-old and their three-year-old with them on a 7-day cruise. Obviously, 2 babies are not gonna be having a grand old time, like, on this cruise, but
No.
anyway, so they were like, "Ugh." Like, we're not having a good time, like, the kids are not having a good time, so that in turn, like, the parents aren't having a good time, blah, blah, blah. So we decided that we're going to, have dinner after they go to sleep. And this is all on Abby's Instagram story. And she's like saying this, and she's like, we put them in their beds, like, and now we're FaceTiming the monitors. Like, we have 2 monitors, we're FaceTiming it, and
Yeah,
we
because
went to
if the
dinner.
monitors are too far apart, they don't work. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so they had to FaceTime it because
So they had to
otherwise you
FaceTime it,
yeah,
and then you
yeah,
can't see it. So that already people were, like, up in arms being like, "That's insane, like, why would you leave your 2 kids, like, in a room, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah." Then people started digging more and were like, "Oh my gosh, they had 2 separate rooms." Like, Abby was in the room with the one-year-old, Matt was in the room with the three-year-old, and the 2 kids were separately in 2 separate rooms in their, like, pack and plays, and then, like, with a blackout, like, tent over them.
yeah.
And
That's how they
so
always
it
sleep is what she
was
said. They always have the
that's how they
blackout.
always sleep is what she
Yeah,
said.
yeah,
And so even if there was an emergency, if they had to come from the dining room to the
yeah,
rooms, that's 10 minutes. Then you have to go into 2 separate rooms to, like, get the kids. Also, you've been posting all over Instagram, like,
That's it.
here's our view, here's our da da da, here's this.
yeah.
Like, people know
Yeah.
the exact cruise you're on. And so people could come to your room when you are not there.
Well, yeah, and on a cruise
And
ship, I mean, it's like a hotel. People have, like, keys for every
exactly.
room. I mean, if,
Yeah.
um,
Exactly.
housekeeping comes in and they do come in during
Exactly.
dinner, historically, on the cruises
Mhm.
I've been on, so it's like,
It's
what
just
are you
so
What would
crazy.
expecting?
possess you to do something like that? and then just
Right.
record it. Like,
And then
and just
be
like
on like, yeah, and then expose it on
be
your
like, "Here's
Instagram.
this." And then so after they came back from the cruise, obviously they saw all the hate they were getting, and they were
mhm,
like, "Guys, just know that we would never leave our kids unsupervised. Like, we were with Abby's family, blah, la, 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 la. Like, they took care of them. They watched them while we were at dinner. We took shifts, blah, blah, blah."
that's
And
yeah.
I'm just like, why are you lying to us? We
I
know,
know.
like, you would have, you they were like, "We like to keep an eye on the monitor even when someone else is watching them," like,
You're
blah, blah, blah.
lying.
And I was
I keep
like,
on I know. I keep going back and forth on, like, that could be true, but also it's weird. Why would you really like, you really would not keep the monitor if someone was in the room. You really wouldn't. Like, it
yeah,
No.
just I go back and forth because 'cause I'm like, I depending on how many family members are there, it's very possible that that was true, but then it's
absolutely.
like but it also why would you admit the monitor thing? Like, that
Mhm.
is weird.
And why
Just
not
don't
put
Mhm.
it
even
in a
mention it.
video? Yeah.
Well, exactly. So I go back and forth because 'cause I'm like, I could see both ways, but it does seem like
Yeah.
a retrospective, like,
It just, like
apology in a way.
exactly. I feel like if anyone else was telling me that, "Oops, like, I posted this, but,
Mhm.
my family was also actually with them," like, I would believe them. But Matt and Abby just seem so, like, absent-minded, and it's like, they just feel like they would do that
Yeah.
to, like they would just be like, "Oh, that's fine, like, moving on, they're taken care of, now we're at dinner having fun."
It's
So
only 5-minute walk down the hallway. Yeah.
That's
Who
such
exactly.
5 minutes,
brain
like, a
rot.
kid could die. I mean,
Oh, easily.
before
Literally.
yeah, by the time you saw something on the monitor and got there, yeah, it's just crazy.
Exactly.
I had a flashback because my
I'm
parents
just
left
like,
us in a hotel room once, but we were
"Oh,
also, like, 10.
yeah,
Like,
okay,
we didn't
that's
have a
fine."
baby monitor.
No, in
Yeah.
a tent, a
Like,
blackout tent
yeah,
over
like,
you.
A
we were
blackout tent, like
yeah, yeah, we were 10 years
okay.
old in Las Vegas, like, watching TV, like, it really
Mhm.
but when I started talking, I was like, "Wait, that did happen to me," but
You're
not in
like
the same way, not in the same way at
yeah, you're
all.
not like
I
1 and 3 years old, like,
10 years
you could
old, I could have called 911 if something
exactly, you
came
could have
up, you
used the
know?
phone, been like, "Hello, like, I
Yeah,
need
1 and
help."
3 is way different, like, one-year-old not walking, three-year-old
Mhm.
toddling around, whether they're in a
Barely
pit I mean,
speaking, like, "Hello."
toddlers will, like, climb out of shit, like, just because 'cause they're in their
Exactly.
little sleep whatever situation you have set up does
Yeah,
not mean that kid's not gonna escape, and it's just crazy. I wish
exactly.
I could remember more of their other takes, but they have some just, like
I
I just see
know.
people react to them on TikTok, and I people are convinced he, like, hates her. Like
I
like,
I'm
think so.
also convinced that
I'm also convinced from the videos I've seen. We'll have to send you some
yeah.
idea just to,
Yeah,
like, get
I'm looking
you
it up right
caught up a
now.
little, because
He
they're
probably does.
it's
He probably does.
no, seriously.
It's
He
just like
He's really I wanna know what goes on in his brain. He comes across very selfish because he did this whole, like, music career for a second too, where he, like, wrote this whole song. Oh, you guys don't remember this?
I'm
no.
gonna deep dive into this tonight.
No, you should,
Mm.
because it's crazy. I'm sure they put their kids up, but for me, it's the Unplanned podcast that's, like,
Yeah,
a
I was
mess.
like, I don't think I haven't seen their, like, content like that,
Yeah.
just their, like, clips from things.
Mm,
It's also very random, like, how they get such big not big names, but, like, they get a lot of, like,
They
famous people on their
mm.
yeah.
podcast, and I'm just like, "What are we talking about? Like, why is this person on your podcast?"
They have had some big people, but in the sphere of, like, they're definitely conservative,
Oh, for sure.
Mm,
they're
mm.
definitely it's weird, but it also kinda makes sense.
Exactly, yeah.
How'd you get them? But also I kind of get like, it's not
Mm,
completely crazy. It's not
yeah.
completely out of the realm
It's
of
not yeah,
possibility.
it's, like, exactly who I think they would get, but it's not like,
Yeah.
"How did you get them?" Because I don't feel like their podcast is that big, but
Yeah, like, they had the Lautners on, which
mhm,
they're in their own
Mm,
sphere too, like, they're trying to
yeah.
get clout
mhm.
these days too.
Yeah.
Caitlin
I
Lowry
remember
from Teen
somewhere that
Mom.
there was
Oh,
someone
I
who I
like
was
Caitlin
shocked
Lowry.
about,
But yeah, I can't wait for you to deep dive because 'cause you're gonna come back
Me
next week and be
too.
like, "What the hell?
and you're gonna be
Y'all let
like,
me talk about this."
"Listen,
Just
all of
hearing
these
the
things I
synopsis,
learned."
I'm just like, still just hearing that quick bit, like, damn, how
Mhm.
chaotic.
Yeah, some of the stuff that he says is so out of pocket. You're gonna die. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. Or she just says, like it's, like, his out-of-pocket stuff or
Yeah,
her just, like,
trauma
completely
dumping.
not thinking trauma dumping and not thinking about, like, what she's actually saying, and
Oh
you're
my
Yeah,
like,
god.
"What?" So, yeah, I'll
yeah.
need you to regroup with us next week and
Oh my
have some
god.
That'll
thoughts
be our
on
catch-up time.
Yes, I'm ready,
seriously. You're gonna be
okay.
like, "Also, I found this."
Yeah.
Gonna
I
go
just
straight through
remember
Reddit.
I, like, I think I watched, like, maybe, like, 10 minutes of their podcast one time because they had, like, Ari and, Lauren from The Bachelor on
Mm,
it, and that was, like,
mhm,
the first interview that, like, Ari and Lauren had done in, like, public eye and, like, after they had their kids and to talk about they were like, "This is the real stuff," and they were just like, "Oh, and so you kissed other people? And you did what?" And it was just, like, so awkward because I was like,
Yeah,
"You're clearly not a Bachelor like, you've never watched The Bachelor, yet you're talking to,
yeah,
like, this person
mm-mm,
whose, like, main claim to fame was Ari being, like, the oldest Bachelor and, like, on The
mhm,
Bachelor twice and blah, blah, blah." So I'm just like, "What are we talking about?" Like, it was just crazy. I can't
undeserved.
remember, like, fully what he was saying, but he was just acting stupid, so
Shall we move on to Ballerina Farm?
sure.
The details for
Uh,
this are fuzzy for me.
honestly,
yeah,
like, I just remember recently she was in or they were in the news because like she was like, "I want to go to Greece for my birthday" after popping
mhm,
out 8 kids. Was like, "I want to
yeah,
go to Greece for my birthday." And then he bought her an apron that holds eggs. And she was like, "Oh." And he was like, "You're not gonna say thank you?"
yeah.
And she was
She
like, "Oh, thanks, honey."
she was literally like, "I
Like,
hope it's tickets to Greece in here."
yeah, yeah. And she pulls out the apron and he's like, "You're not gonna say thank you?" That clip went
So,
viral.
yeah,
And then
they
basic
also it kind of came up when they had were they in Vogue recently or was it may not have been Vogue.
yeah, like a
They were in a
lifestyle
big one.
magazine or
Maybe it
something.
was Lifestyle, and,
Mm.
like, it was basically, like, this whole expose where they were talking about how she was, like, one of the most, like, sought after up and coming
Yeah,
ballerinas, and then
she
she
went to,
Yeah,
started
like,
dating him.
Juilliard
Yeah.
for, like,
talented.
ballet, and the
Yes.
and then it was just like she was
They
like,
got
"Okay, giving
married.
up."
He told her to quit ballet, so she did,
Yeah.
and
He,
the
like,
reason I
stalked her or
asked
something too. He was, like, very persistent.
yeah, the
Yeah.
reason I asked was because was it confirmed that he's Mormon? I am pretty sure they
He's
were
I
hella
mean, they're
rich.
in
Mormon.
Utah, and
Yeah.
if the
He's
shoe fits, like,
Well,
I think his dad owns, like, an airline or something.
yeah, they're
interesting.
Mormon.
Yeah.
They
'Cause
have
that's
to
why I'm
be.
like, why did he really push for, like, the homestead thing? But I think, like, that had a lot
Mm,
because like, the kids, the Mormon of it all.
mhm,
Mhm.
Um,
mhm.
The
but yeah, poor girl gave up her whole life dream. Like and
Seriously.
not that having kids is not part of her dream, because 'cause I'm sure, like,
No,
that
yeah,
may
yeah,
have
yeah.
been
Mhm.
something, but, like, that's also like,
It just feels
you
like it was quicker
literally
than she, like,
yes.
wanted it to
Yeah,
be, like, she didn't get to experience being about, like, a full
Mhm.
exactly.
ballerina, like, on stage
Yep.
or whatever, and then, like, she went to college and then just
Yeah,
had
exactly.
babies, like,
Didn't stand a chance, back to back.
mm-mm.
I know. Just like, what are like, how as free thinking women of the world, like, how are we getting got like this still? You know what I mean? Like, yes,
Yeah.
he's rich,
That's
but
the
like now
question.
you're literally a homesteader. Like they
Yeah.
literally I mean, they're
On
definitely
a
loaded because I
farm.
know like building that house and owning that land and yeah, I'm pretty sure the
Yeah.
kids are homeschooled. It's like I don't know
Mhm.
much, but I know
Yeah.
enough to know
I
that
think
like
they
poor
are
girl.
because, like, she's just stuck at home, like,
Yeah.
taking care of all the kids, doing the farming, doing everything,
Mhm.
Yeah.
schooling, and he's, like, out and about doing whatever he does, so
So, like, sad. Like, how do you even
it
feel
really
okay
is.
posting the clip about the Grease tickets after right after that
I
expose comes
know.
out? Like, I guess you
Mm.
just really don't feel bad. You
Mhm.
really
I
just
know.
men are
It really is sad.
crazy.
Men are crazy.
Because I feel like he's in the wrong personally. Just like
for the, like
coercion. He's got
yeah.
money, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, "I can take care of you,
promising
you can." Well, didn't he
exactly.
also, like they have that whole, like, huge, like, barn kind of thing where it was
Yeah.
supposed to be, like, a ballet studio for her to practice, but now it's,
Oh,
like,
Yes.
yeah.
a gym and, like, whatever,
Yeah,
like,
and the
other, like,
schoolroom, I think.
thing. Yeah,
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 and
yeah.
she
So,
said,
Yeah.
like
"Now it's the kids' playroom," or something.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. And so I'm just like, you couldn't even give her the one outlet, like,
Yeah.
that she had. And I do remember after that, like, expose or something, like, came out, she, like, posted on Instagram, was like, "I'm living the life I've always wanted to, like, blah, blah, blah. I love my family, love my husband, la, la, la." I'm like, obviously, you're gonna say that. You're not gonna be
mhm.
And
like,
on some level, it's true, I'm
"I
sure. I
agree,"
mean,
but
again, you're
yeah,
not
absolutely,
gonna
I'm sure, but
yeah. Again, it's the time frame of it all. You could have been
Yeah.
25 and done that, not 20.
Mhm.
Like, you could have
Mhm.
been
exactly,
30 and
exactly,
done that. I mean, yeah.
exactly.
Wild. Who else is up here?
I put Nara Smith, but only because I love her and, like,
Yes.
her just, like, vibe of everything. She, like, will show the back of her baby as she's holding it,
Mhm.
and, like or the kids, like, running past or something, like, something like that,
Yeah.
but I don't think she's not, like, actively trying to show their face and, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
get money off of them. It's mostly just like, "Oh, like, we're going here as a family. We're doing this as a
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
My kids are helping me bake this."
That's how it
Yeah.
Um
should be. Like, that's
yeah.
exactly
Exactly.
how it should be. She's a
Yeah,
good
like
example of how,
e exactly, and it's mostly, like, her and Lucky, and then, like, if she's traveling, like, her and the baby,
Mhm.
and then, like, that's that. But I do love
Yeah.
because I follow a lot of, like, athletes' wives, so I love I love a
Mm.
Yeah.
wag. So,
Yep.
Mhm.
one of my favorite wags, she, like when she had her babies, like, she was covering their faces with emojis, like, she was
Yeah.
not like because obviously they're a part of her life, obviously, and we know
Exactly.
that they have kids now, but, she's not showing them if they're, like, taking a vacation, like, emojis or, like, blurred out
Mhm.
face, like, something, it's always the back of their head,
Yeah.
and then I think as they've gotten older, the girls are, like it's still not front on, like, face showing, but it's like, oh, there's side of
Her
them, and
hair in
she's
the
not as,
wind.
like yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she's not
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
but I do love an emoji covering, like,
Me
Yeah.
too.
it's good.
As an average human, I do love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not for me personally, but I love when average people do it, and I'm like,
exactly.
"Where are you hiding it from?"
Well,
But
you never know what kind of creeps are out there is the
oh,
thing,
yeah.
right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I totally
Exactly.
get it. Yeah, I
Mhm.
love an emoji. I do appreciate when influencers do that because another notable because for certain people, it's like when you're doing lifestyle, people expect to see your life. So it is
Mhm.
nice that you acknowledge that the
Exactly.
kids are there without having to
Mhm.
exploit them.
Mhm.
I know
Mhm.
relatively new baby, but Isaac Rochelle and Allison Cooch, their baby.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
They've not shown her at all. I mean,
I
she's,
have
like,
not
less
seen
than a year
her.
old, I think, so it's gonna
Yeah.
Mm.
even if we saw her face, it's gonna change, but, like, they're pretty good about but, like, she's big on TikTok for her lifestyle and, like, move with me across
Exactly.
the country while my husband gets traded,
And
and
she
it's
was
like
very like she was
yeah.
very
Mm.
much like, "I'm pregnant now," like, pregnant
Yes.
vlogs, like,
Yeah.
everything. But then before she had the baby, she was like, "Just so we're all clear, like, me and Isaac not showing the baby. Like, you'll hear
Yeah.
about the baby, you'll maybe
Yeah.
see, like, a buggy with the baby in it, like, something,
Yeah.
but, like, you won't see our baby's face." And
I
I
love
was like,
that.
"I respect that, and you're
Yeah.
not
You can still get
exploiting
your
it."
content without it being
Exactly.
weird. Yeah, and not having
Exactly.
fans because they're, like, being creepy towards the kid, like
Mhm.
I know.
But
Nara, she's
Aw.
gotten big this year.
Mhm.
mhm.
Love that
Make
for her.
homemade Skittles with me.
Like,
Her homemade
iconic.
Takis, I was like, "You're
Literally.
joking, girl. I love you."
She's great.
And, first of all, she
At
looks
this
like
point, it's, like, for the bit. Like, at this point,
oh,
it's like, I
has
can
to
do it, so
be.
I'm gonna.
It has to be. And then
Kids
Lucky's
don't want
always like, "This
Takis.
is the best thing I've ever had in my life." And I'm
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, I'm sure it is." I'm
I'm
just like,
sure.
it's crazy. I just personally don't have the patience to be a, like,
No.
chef blogger or anything,
No.
like, you
No.
won't catch me like, "I'm gonna make homemade gum."
I think
Everyone come
about
along with
that
me. I think
every time I watch a video vlog. I'm like, "How long did it take you to?" Because they're you're
Yeah,
setting up the phone, and then you're getting the one
exactly.
shot of you pouring in the sugar, then you set it up in another it's
yeah,
Exactly.
crazy.
it's
It's
too much.
crazy.
So art of like a lifestyle blog, cooking blog is so crazy and time
Yeah.
consuming. Like I just don't have the energy for that.
When they say full-time job, like,
So
They
truly,
mean it, yeah,
truly, that is a
yeah.
full-time job.
what was the
Are we
last
Uh,
on
one
to
that
the
you guys had? I don't
depressing
know.
family?
I'll make it quick.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's the good side of family blogs. The bad side of family blogs, 8 passengers and Ruby Frankie.
Yeah.
Insane story that she was like Mormon family bloggers, like that area of YouTubers. She has what, like 8 kids? She has eight. No, she has 6 kids because there's two of
Yeah.
them. 6 kids vlogged their entire lives, like their punishments, like when they were crying, like any and everything under the sun. Is Mormon too, mind you. And then it comes out that she was abusing her kids because her son escaped the basement that he was essentially locked in with like
Duct taped hands
duct tape,
together.
hands,
Mm.
feet, like everything. Ran to a neighbor's house to get help and they called the police to
Oh
Yeah.
find
my
out that
gosh.
she basically joined like this cult, I want to say, partnership thing with this other lady,
Mm.
Jody Hildebrand, and their idea of parenting, spewing that, and would be punishing
Mm.
her 2 youngest kids that were still in the house. Like, it came out, it was huge. Like, her sisters are also family bloggers too, and they all had to come together and be like, we don't know who she is anymore. Like,
Mm.
insane. Like,
Mhm.
Mormon mom to get
Mhm.
convicted of
The
child abuse.
the
That's
crazy
so
thing is,
sad.
did you know about them before this all happened to Dia, like, at
I
all?
knew her sister,
Okay, okay.
Ellie and Jared. I really liked them a lot because, like, actually, they did the fine line. Like, they showed the kids stuff, but also
Yeah,
they focused on like being a family. So, like, I liked
yeah,
them, and then I know her sister Bonnie. Uh,
okay.
I didn't watch Eight
Yeah.
Packs.
So,
Like,
the thing with them is, like, okay, this is gonna sound crazy. I've only seen them because of commentary. I've never watched one of their video about well, I've seen it through other people commenting on it.
mhm,
And in a way, when this came out, I don't know if the rest of the world felt this way, but I was not surprised. Actually, I think there's a lot of people who weren't surprised because
Mhm.
she, like you said, vlogged their whole lives. And there are so many videos that are out there that are like, for literally 9 months, her 14-year-old slept on the floor because his punishment was that his bed was taken away. And she's like
mhm,
vlogging it and she's like talking to her
Mm.
son and she's like, so how do you feel? Are you, sorry that you did what you did and you want your bed back? And he's like, yeah, I want my bed back. And it's like, well,
yeah,
you don't
Mm.
haven't earned it back. And literally
yeah,
like 9 months of him was like sleeping on the floor or like the couch or wherever he was. And
yeah,
so there were all these little things like she was also the mom who came online and the school called and they were like, so and so forgot their lunch this morning. Can you bring it up for them? And she's like, no, I'm not going to bring them their lunch. It's their responsibility to bring their own lunch every
mhm,
day. The kid's like 4 or 5 years old, mind you. Like, it's not their
Mm.
teenager. It's not like,
yeah,
it's literally
Yeah.
like a baby who like is not
mhm,
whatever. So there was that where she's like, they're just going to have to go hungry because, it's their fault they forgot their lunch today. And it's like, that's
Mhm.
mhm,
crazy,
Mhm.
but like,
yeah,
she truly,
So
like,
sad.
thought that these punishments were, like, teaching them lessons and stuff, but it's, like, from the
mhm,
outside, like, even you putting this on the internet is wild, but also borderline, like, how was CPS not called before
mhm,
is, like, the big question, so
Mhm.
when
yeah,
this came out, like, it is so sad and upsetting that it came out in the way that it did and that truly, like, it was worse than anybody probably expected, like, kid was
yeah,
dehydrated, he's like his sister
Mhm.
was still locked in the room, like, he's the only one who was
mhm,
able to get so, like, it is so sad, but, like, in a way, it was always probably bound to happen. There was all because like, people were like,
Yeah.
"How is she not getting caught
yeah,
already, like, by doing
yeah,
some of this
Mhm.
crazy stuff?" I wish I could remember more of the like, she had some extreme punishments I know that were just, like
yeah,
she would brag about them online, and I
mhm.
don't know how many views her videos got, like, again, I saw some H3 watched all of them. Um, so I didn't have to give her the view, but I don't know. I mean, I know she was definitely putting stuff out there. So when she got indicted, Nikki and I were like, Look at this. I
Yeah,
literally
I
should
was
watch
watching those
them
court
too.
videos.
It's
That's
crazy, and now she's trying to
crazy.
Yeah.
pin it all on Jody. It's like,
Mhm.
girl, like, you're literally, like, 40, like, you cannot get
Mm.
indoctrinated like this. And now she's getting divorced. Her husband had no idea that this was happening. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, you live I from the
Okay.
outside, I could tell things were questionable. Like, she's
Mhm.
literally,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
It's honestly like giving John and Kate +8 because you know how
Oh,
like Kate is now like one of the 14-year-old kids is like coming out and being like, yeah, she literally locked me in the basement for so long, like
mhm.
yeah. And
hands
it's like,
tied, like all this. And you're
they
like,
truly think
huh?
it's a punishment, but it's like that is not, and they don't feel embarrassed that this info's out
Mm-hmm.
there. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Like I was like, okay, like when John left and then it was like just Kate +8, and then like some of the kids were just like staying with him. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, weird, but okay. But
Taking
now, like,
sides.
more and more is coming out. You're like, oh, I see it. She was the insane one.
She's
Yeah,
been
I
the
mean,
insane one.
yeah,
Yeah.
Why
the
are you
original
breathing so
Karen.
hard? Like,
Yeah.
she was so mean to him too. Oh my god.
I know, they were like the original family
Mm.
vloggers. Truly,
Pretty
like
much, yeah.
Literally, they were
I
like,
don't remember before them anybody. Well, not a good time. None of us. You will not catch us
no,
as family vloggers.
No.
Just
no.
regular vloggers, maybe.
Yes,
Just,
yeah.
just podcasters with vlogs. But
Yeah.
gosh, it's so sad because you're like, these are like the family is supposed to be the people you trust the most. And
I
then,
Yeah.
know.
like, these kids are just doing what their parents are telling them, like as good
Exactly.
kids do, and then their parents are exploiting them. So it's
Yeah.
just
It's gonna be rough
so
over the next like
sad.
10, 20 years, the
Yeah.
stuff that comes out, I think. Like you
Yeah.
Absolutely.
said, even with like the cut, like cry more, like even
Yeah, just
imagine
more
what
and more.
else happened
Hmm.
behind the scenes.
My
Yeah.
thing
Hmm.
is, like, could you imagine, like, your bully showing you a video of you crying that your mom
No,
posted on the internet, or like
literally.
knowing things about you? Like, I would,
Hmm.
like, there's no sense of privacy for these kids.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-mm.
And if you're crazy like me, say like Scott had a whole bunch of videos on the internet from his childhood, I would watch every single one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like,
Right.
Right.
you shouldn't know
That shouldn't
Yeah.
be out
like
there.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just like,
Mm.
yeah, you shouldn't know that about someone, that much about their life.
That's the downside of the
The
downfall of
downfall.
family vlogs. Loves the Knicks, anyone?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. Okay, my love this week is Sabrina Carpenter. She's just
Ah,
fire, and I'm so
she's
obsessed with
everything.
her. Her
I
song, like
love
her new
her.
album, like I just love it. I've been jamming to like Bed Kim
Same.
and Good Graces like nonstop.
Bedchem is
Who
crazy.
does
She's
she
like,
think she is?
she just like, just every song she puts out, I'm just like,
Yes, it's
wow,
a bop.
another
She's
banger,
the
another
next It
banger.
Girl. She is the
She
next It
Yeah.
Girl,
is.
and I love it.
She's
She's
like
what
one.
we
She's
needed.
like she's like our next like real pop girly. Like
Yes,
she
Yeah.
yes.
is because all the, like a lot of pop singers are like, oh, you know, but like
hmm
she's a pop
She's
star.
it. She is
Yeah,
born to be a pop star. I just
yeah.
hate that Barry is dragging her down. But regardless,
Sis.
we'll move forward. But that's my love for the week, Sabrina
Mhm.
Carpenter. My ick for the week is how Scott eats yogurt. Watches me and eat 4 of yogurt every time I'm over there. And that's pounds of
Yeah.
yogurt. And he eats it like it's his last meal and he's on death row. And I I've never seen anyone eat yogurt,
That's
let alone
crazy.
that much yogurt before.
You know what he needs? He needs like the big ones from the store. Like, why are we spending more money for individually
That's the
packaged and
I
one.
having 4 of them?
Yeah,
Like, it's one thing to have one. I
yeah.
get that, that's fine, whatever. But like when you're having that much, it's like you just get the big what box. You know what
Yo,
I
You
mean?
go
I
to
Like,
literally
Costco,
told
like get
him, I
yeah.
said, "Do you want to go to Costco? Like, I will take you to
Yeah.
yeah.
Costco and get you like industrial
He
size."
said,
No,
mm-mm.
he likes to
No,
take
I
the little
have these
pop off
containers.
I
and
mean,
just
I
like
get it, but
It's
4
a
is
little treat. I get it.
crazy.
Yeah. For
like
every
that's
day?
his treat.
Exactly, because I love the idea, like, I do,
Yeah,
but
it's
4
Mm-mm.
good,
is,
but
like, a waste of money.
it's a
Like,
Yeah.
lot.
It's
a lot.
literally.
Yeah, but that's my ick, watching him eat that. It's just
That's so funny.
no one should see that. It's just a lot.
Okay, and you posted it for us all to see.
I
And by
I
did
us, I
because
did.
mean the close friends. And
I
why
had
am I
to.
grossed out? Because like it's such a big bite, and yogurt already is like
It
hard to
was
eat. Like,
insane.
Do you see
It
how
was
his
like the
jaw?
scoop, and it was like,
well, because
and
I was
I
like,
was like,
okay, there's 4 there, whatever. And then the video kept going, and I was like,
I was
oh
like,
my
and your
god.
stomach is just okay. Like, there are 4. That's what I was like icking about. I was like,
He
you're
like
really just
he detaches his jaw to open it up big enough for his scoops of yogurt. I'm like, I ask him every time, "What's rush? What are you trying to do this so quickly for?"
yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna take any. Like, no one's coming for your yogurt. You feel
Yeah.
like he's gonna be in trouble. Like,
Seriously.
it's insane. And yeah,
That's
I have
so
to let everyone
funny.
else see it because I've been tortured this whole time. So yeah,
Yeah.
It's an
yeah.
image in my brain now,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Never met that man, but that's the only image I have in my mind of him. My loves, I'm at the lowest weight I've been in 3 to 4 years. So she's paper thin.
Waste to
Where's the
wear.
waist? Yeah.
Exactly. And then what was my ick? I was reorganizing my bookshelf earlier this week, and it was just annoying because I normally put things by author's last name, and so I had them, and then I would forget a G. Like I already had them already
Mm.
laid out, and so I would take out enough books to put them and then scoot them over, and then I'm like, oh, forgot this person. So now I have to rearrange it now. And then I just bought a bookshelf. Like, why is it already basically full? And I'll need to buy another one if I keep buying books and CDs. What we doing here? Anyway, that's an
So one of my loves is that I went to the library today to pick up one of my movies that I had on hold. It wasn't there, spoiler alert, but that's okay.
Mm.
Because I found a gem. I found 2 gems, but
yeah.
they were doing a book sale. They've been doing one for a while, and they're like on the last legs of like the DVDs that are out. And I was like, you know what? Let me just like I've looked at this before. I never looked like seriously at the DVDs. There's like literally 30 left at this point. Like there's not many. So I'm not expecting to find anything over there. Well, I first thing I see, this is crazy and I can't wait to watch it, is the Lord of the Rings animated movie. I don't it came out in like the 80s. I've heard so much about it. I
Oh my
don't know if
god.
it's good.
That's
25
incredible.
cents. So I'm like, I'm getting
You
this. We're
have
getting
to.
this.
That's
Like,
a steal.
I'm never gonna find this again. Anyway,
Yeah.
and then the second thing that I find, it's a love and a Nick that it's even in this sale per se,
Yeah. Yes.
made in the AM. 25 cents.
Yeah.
A
Mind you, I own
historical
it
artifact.
already. Yeah, exactly. I own it
Something
already,
that's
but I
part of our
saw it.
full lore. Like, what do you mean?
Literally. So I see it and I'm like, I own it still. That's fine, but I can't leave this here. Like
Mhm.
25
Yeah.
cents
He
my
deserves
You
a good
have to
child.
be
home.
the new rightful owner.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. So that was one of my loves. Also an ick that it was there. My other ick this week is that so we have a I'm just a girl fantasy football league, so all the girlies
Oh
who like
yeah.
don't necessarily know the vibes like or know fantasy football like that are
Mhm.
playing, and I hate that I'm 1-1 right now. Like I lost last week, and the bigger issue is that why did I wake up Monday morning to 5 of my players injured and on like the injured reserve, like not even coming back this week? I'm like, okay,
Oh
so what am I
no.
supposed to do now? Everybody's
Yeah.
injured. Like, anyway, so that's an ick. We're working through it. Things aren't looking good for me for in general, but especially
Yeah.
this week. Um, and then okay, I have another joint love and ick, and I don't want to get too much into it, but I've been reading The Witching Hour by Anne Rice for the last literally 3 weeks because it is so long. It's literally 1,000 pages,
Mm.
50-hour audiobook. I'm grinding. I'm on 2.5 times speed and I'm still have 10
Mm-mm.
hours left. Like I am
Mm-mm.
trying so hard. So my ick is like, why did she do that? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
what possessed her? Like, why are we doing one book? Although I see why, but 1,000 pages is crazy. But I love it because I'm actually really living for what like if you guys ever read just forget that I said this, but I literally am loving it. Like, it's so fucked up. I love it. Her brain, I would love to study. She's just like, what possessed
Mhm.
her to do all of this? And I think it helps that I read the vampire, not all of them, but like a lot of the vampire books, because it's like I kind of know where she might be doing some things.
Mm.
But yeah, so love that it's like an amazing time. Hate that it's literally like the book auto returned to the library because I didn't finish it. I was grinding. And so I actually have it on hold again, but I found that it's on Spotify. So I'm like, I think I have enough audiobook hours for the month that I'll finish
Yeah.
it. But fingers crossed. If not, who knows? I don't know
We
what
have
I'm
to
gonna
use
do.
the
Seriously.
pod one.
Yeah, exactly. If I don't make it, although I think I have enough because when I started with Spotify, I only had 12 hours left and I'm on 2x speed. So it'll only take me 6. And Spotify, I
Mm.
have 15 hours, I think. So
Mm.
fingers crossed
Fingers
because
crossed for
I'm
sure.
5th on the list for the audiobook. And I'm like, I
And that
wish
could
you would
take
just give me another
ages.
week. I know, like, if I could have just had one more week, I think I could have
Mhm.
done it. Like, but yeah, anyway,
Damn.
that's that. That's what
Well,
we got going on this week.
yeah. Thank you everybody for listening to us chaotically gab about family vloggers and our lives. We appreciate you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us everywhere you can on podcasts and social media and all that fun things. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.